Mike MacDonald is with us this morning. Okay, so you're fighting the liver disease, the hepatitis C.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, how long? Tell us a bit about the background on this.
Yeah. When did you find out
your
you
timeline?
had it?
Yeah.
I think it was about 15 months ago. Ironically, the whole thing started. My wife and I were in California, and we sat there, and Americans were getting more nuttier, and we both looked at each other, and we realized, boy, we should have get out of here before Bush got reelected. Yeah, we've spent way too long down here. We should have got out of here. And we ironically decided to move back to Ottawa. Mm-hmm. And to live out the rest of our lives in Ottawa.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, the phone rang, and it was my mother, and she said, "You better come up. Your father's in the hospital. He's sick." And I knew there was something really wrong because there's something about that generation. It was like being in a Seinfeld episode. About 6 months ago, my dad had a mild heart attack, and they didn't even tell me. Mm-hmm. And when I found out and confronted them on the phone, they said, well, we didn't want to bother you. We knew you were out there touring in clubs and stuff. We didn't want to bother you. What do you mean you didn't want to bother me? It's a heart attack. And they're clubs. I can rebook them, That's not a big deal, If you're supposed to tell me when Dad has a heart attack so I can come home. God, we didn't want to bother you.
Yeah.
It's that, that whole 50s generation. But anyways, so I came home, and before I came home to see my dad, I was exhibiting a couple of things that were wrong, like I was tripping a little bit over the rug and stuff. I dropped the glass, which is very uncharacteristic for me. Anyone that's seen my comedy or anything, I'm pretty physically adept. And my wife said, when you're up in Ottawa, promise me you'll go see a doctor. And I said, all right, I will. So when I came up here, my dad was in the hospital, blah, 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 and I went to see a doctor. They ran some tests, and they said something's a little out of whack, and then they did a Hep C test and
all right,
discovered I had a Hep C, and I said, "Whoa!"
Okay, so all these months later, I mean, where does everything stand with you?
Well, at first I thought, I was really gung ho. I was just listening to the doctors, what they said, and I thought for sure that the transplant was the way to go. But since being in Toronto at several of the assessment team meetings and stuff, and them telling me the worst case scenarios, they've actually scared me out of having a transplant, or made me think twice, to say the least, about having a transplant. And right now I'm seeing an old Chinese guy, acupuncturist, who took one look at me and said, liver problem, right? Yeah, 8 months I cure you. You don't need liver transplant. You do what I tell you.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And how long have you been seeing him for?
About a month and a half.
And how are you feeling since you've been seeking this kind of treatment?
A lot better, but there has been a part in the middle when I've been a little bit depressed, because I brought after seeing this guy for about a week and feeling so good, I thought my mother could benefit from this guy too, because she has a pinched nerve in her shoulder and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
She's getting old, and then all of a sudden I realized that I don't like to be told what to do to begin with. I accepted from the Chinese guy, and his son, who they switch, it's Monday and Tuesday, it's his son, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's It's the old guy giving the treatment. But now my mom thinks she's part of the team, so now I got to listen to my mother. Talking about, well, didn't Dr. Tran say that blah, 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 and then blah, blah, well, I heard him say blah, 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 blah,
That's
blah,
fine.
blah, 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 you know,
Okay.
and it's just like, oh man, you know, and that with all the other stuff, you know, the Captain Obvious stuff, you know, like if you're cold tonight, you know, just you know, there's blankets in the closet.
Fair enough.
Okie dokie.
Now, of course, all the treatments that you've been going through and, you know, just traveling around trying to find a cure and everything, it costs money. So people have been raising cash for you across the country, across the world.
Yeah, your friends created an online campaign.
Wow, over $41,000
cool.
so far. So
Yeah.
what we've done is we've set up that link on our official Facebook fan page. If you want to donate to Mike's cause, we'd really appreciate that here this morning. Go to dawgfm.com and see it for yourself, the website. Mike MacDonald, we can't thank you enough for coming in here today. Really, I mean, I'm a fan. We know so many people across this a great city love what you do across the country. We are pulling for you like no other. We want you to get better, and we know you're going to get better because you're a fighter, man.
And if really the thing, if you want to do something for me, and I would say get tested for Hep C because it's a simple blood test. It's actually it's 2 little blood tests. It takes 5-10 minutes, and it's very simple. It doesn't cost very much.
Right.
And save you a lot of time and trouble because if Hep C can be caught in the early stages before it does damage to your liver, it can be eradicated by drugs sometimes, like my friend was lucky enough back in 2000 when it was the experimental drugs at the time. Now it's standard procedure. But if Hep C is caught in its early stages, it can be dealt with drugs instead of having to worry about a transplant or anything like that. So,
All right. So get tested. Simple as that.
It's very, very simple. Just get tested. You don't have to have had used intravenous drugs or anything like that. There's all different kinds of ways to catch it. So believe me, it's worth just getting a simple little blood test to find out if you have it or not.
All right, Mike MacDonald, we got to give him a round of applause
Thank you
here.
so much for coming in.
Thank you for making us all laugh. Thank you for raising awareness for these causes. And thank you so much for coming in this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.